What's going on, everybody? Today is another beautiful day in Seattle, and I wanted to make a ride along video specifically for today because today will be the hottest day in the last throughout this whole year. So I'm thinking that traditionally, when I looked on Reddit, people have been saying that sunny days are slower days because people are not um, ordering from restaurants, they're having picnics and whatnot. But yesterday, the previous hottest day, I made like $200 from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I'm thinking nobody wants to work on these warmer days, and so I'll get all the good orders. So we'll see. But today is also a Monday, which has historically been the worst day of the week for me at least in my area. So let's see what kind of results we get. Fingers crossed that we make a killing today. So let's see how things turn out.
About an hour into the shift, I get an order from Pink Bee, which is a Thai restaurant, and I'm bringing it over to good old Magnolia. So I go ahead and head on over there. I bring a couple orders over there, and during this period of time, I noticed that there's a peak pay. So in terms of my prediction of not a lot of people working today, I think I was spot on. Getting like this peak pay very early on in the day. This rarely ever happens. It usually only happens when there's like some kind of outage and everybody just takes a break. But looks like there was a peak pay really early on in the day because the shortage of people. But I also ran into some surprising situation with this hot day, and it looks like everybody is pulling out their sailboats because the bridge it went up like 4 times in like the first 2 hours easily. I got hit all 4 times. One of the times I got hit just going there and then coming back. So that was a huge surprise for me. Yesterday, the day before, when I was mentioning the warm day, this didn't happen, but I guess it's happening today, and there's nothing really I can do about it. There's just this area, and I had to cross this bridge, so it's just too bad. I just got to roll with the punches and just suck it up. Um, if you get caught in the bridge, like if you're the one of the first ones, then that's not too bad. But if you're in the traffic, it's easily 5 minutes slapped onto wherever you're going. Following that, I get a order from McDonald's, which I had to cross the bridge again. But then I run into this freaking garbage truck, so I had to park and run around.
Okay, so we're about 3 hours in, and we're going at average pace. Um, I'm waiting for the bridge to go back down right now. It just went up again, and that's kind of surprising. I mean, to say the least. But anyway, I think that as long as we just keep at this pace, maybe we'll revitalize what we did yesterday and hit that $200 in 5 hours, around 4 to 9, and then we'll just scrape it at the barrel, bottom of the barrel, till we get to that time. So we'll just keep at it. Nothing we can do on our end. Nothing within our control, at least. So let's just focus on that, and everything should work out itself.
I get a couple good orders, one with a hidden trick, like as I like to call it, and I get an extra couple bucks. But this is not good enough. The day is going pretty slow, so I got to take a bullet and I got to accept this crazy order that's 8 miles. Normally, I would absolutely reject this order. It is way too far, but it's slim picking out here. And even though I'm not really banking on this being a hidden tip, but it turns out it wasn't. I mean, I think it make like an extra dollar or something. But either way, it's slim picking, and I got to accept other crazy orders. I'm not gonna accept this Petco one, which is too extreme. That's just out of the question. But I'll accept orders, and it looks like I get this McDonald's order, which bails me out. I mean, there you got the McFlurries, so that's really appealing on this hot day, and so we got to load up on those.
So we're about 6 hours and 20 minutes in, and it is. So I was right about not being a lot of drivers. Um, but there are also not a lot of orders either. Right now, the only thing that's keeping us alive is McDonald's flurries, and we're just going back and forth. Whatever we can get is slim picking out here. I don't know what happened yesterday. I was just killing it the last 5 hours, and today, same thing, really hot and no orders. But it is Monday. The major restaurants I usually go to are closed, and I was going to jump hotspots, but those other areas are closed too. Or I don't know if they're closed, but they're not showing up on the map as hotspots. So I don't know what's going on. Just maybe a hot day, maybe something else. You can't always tell. But the most significant thing today is that it's really hot, and I think that we just gotta keep scraping all the orders at the bottom of the bucket. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this update. We'll see how much we make in the next 3 hours.
Surprisingly, I get this order from a Ballard Pizza Company on this blazing hot day. People want to eat a hot slice of pizza, and I gotta carry this pizza in my car. So for $12.25, I'll take it, and I go ahead and deliver it.
We'll find so far, but it's early yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. You been keeping you busy?
No.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Stay cool out there.
If you couldn't hear what we were talking about, I was just asking her how business is going, and she's asking me how things were going with Doordash. And I always try to make conversation with the employees. I actually asked a lot of them for their names just so we, get acquainted, and just makes the experience more enjoyable for me. Not always to run in and out. Once again, we get some peak pay bonus, and it's just in the middle of the day. Normally, like I said, if there's like an outage or maybe it's late in the dinner period, probably around 8 o'clock, there's a peak pay, but rarely ever early on like this. So that's kind of a good thing. It'll help us out a lot, but it's still, I got to get out of one hotspot area. I gotta go back to the days where I'm accepting anything that's like second tier. Second tier as in is a little bit further, but I'll land in an area that is I'll have to drive a little bit to get to the next hotspot, but it's not too bad. For example, I get bailed out on this Green Lake Grill for $10.75. This is an example of a decent one where I'm just driving around. I'm in an area. I land in an area that's not a hotspot, but fingers crossed that I get another order to take me out of there. As I'm driving, I decide to re-strategize and decide to try to use one of the hotspots as a hub, and particularly the Japanese restaurant that serves sushi. I ended up getting 3 orders from there like in a row pretty quickly. One of them being horrendous, 9 miles for $20.50. There's just I won't be landing in a hotspot, and it'll take me a bit to get out of there. So I decide to reject this one. The next one is an absolute no. Going to Central District in Seattle is way too far. That's at least close to 20 minutes at this hour. But then I get a really sweet one, $9.25. This should be a less than around 5-minute drive, but I was trapped in there for 20 minutes waiting for my order. If you look at all these bags, they had just bags everywhere, and people were coming in and out quickly, but I guess it was just really slow for me. I just got an unlucky draw, sort of. It wasn't too bad.
This is the last check-in before we close out. It's probably going to be too dark to even record. You can't even see me. That's why I stopped doing 12-hour shifts. But other than that, today was it could have been worse. The hot day could have been worse. I think that if I just had to switch my game plan up a little bit and try to take orders that are a lot further away. I'm gonna put up the numbers at the end, but they're probably gonna look pretty bad in terms of how many miles I usually drive. But I think that that's what I had to do. I had to adapt. Today was a really hot day, Some of the hot spots were pretty empty when I got there, and then there was other places that were just slammed. And so I just had to change it up to adapt to the day. So that's it for this update.
As I'm delivering, I'm getting bailed out, and when I say I'm getting bailed out, I would end up in a area that's not a red hot zone area, but then I would get an order that's pretty short and just kind of like out of the way. So, for example, I get this Nutty Squirrel Gelato, which is 1.8 miles for $9.25. That's a huge steal just for landing, in Green Lake area where there's, a few restaurants, but not really a hot spot. So I get bailed out, and that's good for me. I get another bailout situation where I'm coming back from Magnolia, and there's a single restaurant sitting up on the hill before you cross the bridge, a Mexican restaurant for $8.25. So that's a huge win for me because it's same direction I'm headed, and it's a very short distance, around a little more than 2 miles. But when I have to go into the building and deliver it to the guy's floor. Um, I was at the elevator for probably like 2 minutes. This was a pretty crappy elevator for a building that has 6 floors. It's not a high rise where it's just speeding through, but still, it was taking a while. And it just so happens that the guy I was delivering to walks in and he just says, "Oh, is this for so and so?" I say yes, and I hand it to him and complete the delivery. So it's just about 8:45 before I finish the previous order, and my fingers are crossed to get in one more order before I'm done with this shift. I get a order from Shop and Deliver for Safeway for $13.75, which is a good price, but for 6 items for 2 miles, I just I just was too tired, and so I decided not to accept it. But then I get another order for a pie bar, which you see me just going out there, and they just have a window, and this girl was just teaching another employee how to make the pies. So I was able to get an order from there for $10.25, and that's a pretty sweet deal for me for 2 mile, a little bit more than 2 miles. So of course I accept and I deliver this to complete my shift. Okay, so to recap the day, it wasn't as I expected. I wasn't getting crazy amount of orders, a good dose as I would have expected when I was trying to hypothesize what kind of day I was gonna get from the previous day based off the weather. Plus, it was Monday. I don't know if that was a factor, but it did slow things down. I did have to adapt and go out of my hotspot area and not cherry pick as much. Um, but I did make a decent amount of money. I made $260, which is not bad at all. But I drove 120 miles total. Usually I land around 100 miles for the day after 10 hours. But can't complain. This is a pretty good amount of money, so I'm happy with it. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.